Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a renovation challenge, actually my first renovation challenge, and today's challenge is by NYNSIMMERRENO1. Unfortunately, by the time I post this, the challenge will be over. But even though it's over, you can still do it if you want to, you just won't be entered in the actual challenge. You can get this house on the gallery under the origin ID of NYNKEKNYN. Or if you look up the lot name, NYNSIMMERRENO1, Reno or Reno, I don't know how you really say that. And so while this is loading and I do a quick little overview tour, I'm going to read the rules of this challenge. It first says, give this old house the renovation it deserves. It is an absolute mess and needs your love to help it flourish again. And the rules are 1. Add a second floor. 2. Use all packs. 3. Do not use batuu. 4. Do not change the original shell apart from the second floor and the chimney. And 5. Change the lot traits. And it's due the 7th of February, but then they extended it to the 14th, but that's still passed by now. And to get started, here I am just clearing the weeds of the house, all the trash, the floor stains, puddles, everything in the house, as I kind of thought of what I wanted to do with the house and how I wanted to incorporate in upstairs and what I wanted to put upstairs. So my idea for the house was that this is like a low budget renovation. And what I mean by that is I saw other people with their entries, they changed the doors, they changed door placement, they changed windows and window placement, whereas I kept all of the original doors and windows that came with the house. And so my thoughts were maybe the person or the family who's moving into this house wanted to remodel but didn't have a lot of money, so rather than spending a lot of money doing new doors, new windows, all of that, they just repainted or refinished the ones that came with the house. So like I said, I've never done a renovation challenge. This is my first renovation challenge. And so when I downloaded the house, maybe some are like this, maybe some aren't. I just expected it to be like an old empty house to remodel and furnish. I did not expect to see everything inside, so that made me kind of happy. Like it was abandoned, they bought it for like extremely cheap and did a lot of the cleaning and the remodeling on their own to save a lot of money. Or you could also pretend maybe that the upstairs of the house took all the money or like cost way more than you expected, and so then you didn't have enough money to redo all the windows and doors or hire someone to clean it out. I don't know. I just like coming up with stories when I play. I was also just thinking about how long this took. Like, building a house in general is hard. And if you look at all the puddles and wall cracks and the dirt on the floor and like the wall stains and floor stains, and that's not even including all the furniture and like the paper clutter and the flowers and the vines, I feel like this would almost take longer than building an actual house. So thank you to the creator of this house and challenge for doing that for us so that we could have a renovation challenge. Almost every time I tried to delete those rocks in every single room, I deleted the floor. And I tried to edit it out, but it looks like I forgot it right there. And also for me, I'm still learning how to build. I just get in the habit of downloading from the gallery, and so when I build my own houses, I don't know where to place the windows or like what doors look best, or like I'm just not good with like the shell of the house, I guess. So I tend to download a lot of shells and furnish them myself when I play. And so another reason I really like this challenge is it kind of was like a shell challenge where the house is already built for you and you can just remodel it in the outside, inside, and furnish it yourself. And so here in the game, I was just like deleting all of the weeds, and I had decided that I wanted to keep the original trees, like kind of like the people who moved in just cleared the property of all the weeds, but they kept the trees. I don't know, because like in real life, if you move into a house, you usually don't chop down all the trees or like get rid of all the trees. And so after that, I started building the second floor, and even though I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do with the house or what type of people or family I was going to have move in, I knew I wanted the upstairs to be just a small upstairs, not a full upstairs where it was just like a bedroom loft, like an open bedroom, maybe a little hangout area and a bathroom. I was thinking at first maybe a family could live here, like the upstairs could be the parents' room, or maybe it was someone who lived by themselves and just the upstairs was their bedroom. Later in the build, I do go back and update the exterior of the house, but for now, I just kept it the same just so while I was building or furnishing the house, it looked the same rather than just unfinished. One thing I'm bad about, I don't know if anyone else does this, but especially when they're doing roofs, especially if it's a smaller roof, sometimes I forget to change the wall color because it comes undone like a wall. But sometimes I forget because it's a roof. I just don't really think of it as a wall all the time. And so, like I said earlier, we kept almost all the original windows, maybe moved them a little bit. But when we made the upstairs, obviously we had to add more windows. And so, what I've learned when doing windows is if you place them from the inside when you build, they don't always look good on the outside. So, I've learned that, for me at least, when I'm doing a build, I place them from what looks good on the inside. I place them for what looks good on the outside of the house. And then I just work around them on the inside, I guess. And so, here I am, like I said, I'm updating the windows like it's a low budget remodel, so they just repainted the window frames and door frames and such. I do end up and delete a couple and move a couple, but for now, I was just leaving them where they are until I went inside and started to build to see if they were gonna work or not. Because I felt it was pointless to try to move them around before I even knew what I was gonna do with the inside of the house. I also almost never use these windows, so I was kind of excited to see them in this build. Just so I would kind of have to force myself to try something new. And so now we are working our way to the inside of the house. But before we get started, I didn't want to lose the original placement of the trees ish, but they kept getting in the way, so I just decided to shrink them all down so I wouldn't forget where they were, but they wouldn't be in the way of the video anymore or me building. And so, like I said, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with this house, so I think I began with just repainting, redoing some of the walls, the doors, the flooring, or just kidding, I actually first added the stairs. And so, when I was rereading the rules at the beginning of the video, I realized I did something wrong. I thought that it said you couldn't move the chimney, but I think the rules say you can move the chimney. So I didn't move the chimney. I worked around it, but I mean, it was fine. It ended up and it worked out, so I'm not complaining. I just wanted to mention that. But I did change the color, and I think that's okay. And here, I think you should freaking be able to hang stuff on the chimney. Like, people do that. So, here I just deleted the wall so that I could hang this wreath, make it look like it was hanging on the chimney for a little added pizzazz. And so, actually, there's a cool trick. If you're trying to place something like a little out from a wall, like if you wanted to put a painting or a mirror on a dresser, or pictures on the fridge or notes on the fridge, just delete the wall temporarily behind it, and then you can add it and put wallpaper right back on it. And so normally when I build or furnish, I just get in the habit of using solid color walls. Like, I feel like I use the ones with like the white crown molding and baseboard, if that's what it's called. I don't know. I use the same ones all the time. And so lately I've been trying to use more wallpaper or more textured or patterned walls. And so I decided this room was going to be the living room, family room area with a little corner nook office, whatever you want to call it, under the stairs. And I'm pretty sure your Sims can use this if you were to want to download it and play in this house. And as you can see, it took me quite a while to figure out which bookcase I wanted to put there in the corner. And then I was looking for maybe a little piece of art for right under the desk, but I couldn't really find anything that looked good that the stairs didn't really block, so I just put that little butterfly picture on the staircase, and then I was just adding a few items for decoration, clutter, whatever, on the desk. And so every time I do this, I just go ahead and add everything I want, and I just added that little piece of coal. I don't know why, but I felt like it fit the vibe. It matched the rest of everything. So I just moved it to place everything where I thought I wanted it. And watching it now, I don't like how close that lamp or light is to the front. I feel like that should be more in the back, but I didn't go back and change it, so it is what it is. And so here I just wanted to add something to the corner of the fireplace. And when in doubt, just to add a plant. I didn't really know what to add, but I felt like that plant fit well in that corner. It didn't take up too much space like the tables that I was thinking of putting there. Not that I had there, that I was thinking of. And then here I started working on the living section of the living room. I don't know what you call it. The sit down section, the couch section, the TV section. Just the other part of the living room. And it took me 10 years to find a rug I liked. And I didn't really even like this one that much, but I gave up and I felt this one did an okay job of what I was looking for. And so here I was just kind of playing around with the couch placement, the TV placement, where I wanted things, because I didn't really want the TV right in the corner. And I saw there wasn't really room for a couch and a love seat, so I wanted like a corner couch, but there are only certain couches you can use and place together that fit together as a corner couch. And so here I was just trying to find ones that I liked well enough to put in the house that worked together to make a corner couch. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I have never used these couches before, so that makes me happy whenever I use something new that I've not used before. And to finish up this room, I just added a small little coffee table, some black curtains. I changed the flowers on the wreath, the color of the flowers, and then I just added a couple pieces of artwork to the walls to finish up this room. And I used the purple flowers and this piece of art right here to kind of add maybe like a little pop of color to the room. Since the room is mostly black, white, and gray, I thought that... Just kidding, guess I didn't keep that picture there. Well, I added the flowers on the wreath and the flowers in the little office area to try to bring a little color to the room. And still going strong, we just made the walls of the entryway white, so it looks like we're going to have our second black, white, and gray room. If you haven't noticed yet, there is starting to be a pattern in this house. And so I just added an ottoman, a coat rack, like somewhere to sit while you're getting ready to leave, to put your coat on, to put your bags as you're leaving, to put your shoes on. And lastly, following the white, gray, and black theme, I added a little black umbrella holder into the corner. And then we turn around, and I just wanted to add a little bit to the walls, but it's a small entryway, so I didn't want to add too much. So I ended up and just used these four little frame things. I don't know what they are, but I thought they looked kind of good just as like a piece of art. And then I ended up and I put these two little planter baskets underneath them just to outline the kitchen, I guess. I don't know. It was simple, but I thought it was a nice touch. And moving on into the kitchen, I had already changed the floor, so now it was time to pick what walls I wanted in there. And at this point, I think we're just going for a white and black aesthetic. White, black, and gray. But right here you can see me. I'm using those tiles. I don't know. I like doing that in my kitchens. Adding a wall or two of tiles to create a backsplash. Like behind the kitchen counters. I don't know about anywhere else, but at least in the United States, that's a popular thing to do. A lot of people in their kitchen, like behind their counters, will put tiles on the wall as a backsplash. And so now I'm just renovating the cabinets, like that song from High School Musical that goes like out with the old and with the new. If I could sing, I'd sing it right now, but I definitely cannot. So we just took out the old cabinets and we're putting in the new cabinets. And like I said, with the low budget renovation, I think I kept all of the appliances and like sinks where they were before, because my thought behind that was it is a low budget renovation, so rather than paying for new piping and new like stove connections or appliance connections, they just got new appliances and kept them in the original spots. And maybe I'm wrong, because I've definitely never renovated a house, but I just feel like rewiring that to hook it up somewhere else is definitely something that would cost more money. And so here, like the bookshelf, it took me a while to figure out what table I wanted to use, because I thought, be it 1 sim, 2 sim, 3 sims who live here, I wanted enough for at least 4. Like, even that way, if it's just 2 sims, they have seats for if anyone else ever comes over. But when you hook the chairs to the table, I just don't like how far away they are. Like, I know it won't be functional, but I want the chairs to look, at least the 2 end ones, like they're more scooted in. That way, it looks like you can use the last countertop there. But it took me a while to figure out how to do this, and afterwards I realized just hook a different chair to the spot where, like, you're tucking in a chair, like I'm doing here, and then you can place the table, like, it has a chair hooked to it in that spot already. So you can place the chairs wherever you want, and then you just have to delete the second chair, and the other chairs will remain where you want them. And so to finish up the kitchen, I wanted to add something above the table. I just felt like that wall looked pretty blank, but I didn't know if I should center it above the table or center it in the wall. I ended up and centered it with the table and just added a little plant, but if you think I should have centered it in the wall, let me know below. I don't know. I thought it looked better centered with the table, but if you think not, leave a comment. And then I just added a few things to the countertop to finish the room. And then here I went in this room and I realized there was a wall that I did not clean up. I must have just never turned the camera around, because I definitely missed a lot of that. And then here I was just matching up the doors. I don't know, I like it when they face the same way. I feel like in a normal, like a real house, the doorknobs would be on the same side. My original thought for this room was to be the office, but then I remembered that I put that in the living room. So then I thought about making this into a guest bedroom. And so at first I just started making it into an extra bedroom, but I changed the walls to gray, and I kept the same aesthetic as the rest of the house, like the white, black, and gray, monotone. I don't know what you call that, monochromatic. Don't know what that word means. I think I said that in a different video too, pretty sure. And so here I was just adding a little decoration to what I thought was going to be the guest bedroom. I didn't really know what to add, because I was like, it's not someone's room. I didn't know how to decorate it. I didn't want to make it seem like super personalized if it didn't really belong to anyone, I guess. So here I thought maybe the person who lived here was really into movies, and so I added the movie posters. But then after much thought and careful consideration, I decided that this room was going to, drum roll please, that was the worst drum roll ever, but this house was going to belong to a mom, like a single mom and her teenage son. And so I decided that this room was going to be the teenage sons. And side note, those freaking annoying things popped up on the side because I quit playing for a while and then came back to it like a day later, and I just didn't really realize those things were there. Like, I'm so used to not recording that sometimes when those things pop up, I don't notice. But if you pay attention, one of those notifications says Paul Denning, I think, Cat TV, and it's because my roommates have 3 cats, and they have a little kitten. It's probably almost a year old, maybe, but it likes to watch videos of birds and squirrels, and so I have an iPad that I used to use for school, and it comes in here, and it'll just sit on my iPad until I turn the videos on, and it just sits there and watches them. So if you have a cat, look up that video, or just, like, YouTube search cat videos and see what your cat does. I think it'll be funny. And so since I had already started making this room black, white, and gray, I decided that the son who lived here was like a dark kid. I don't know, like, you would call it, like, not emo, not goth. I don't know, just like black. Like, he just liked black. He dressed in all black. Not like a scene kid, I guess. I don't know. I just don't like the word emo. Like scene punk. I don't know. That's what I was thinking when I built this room. Or e-boy. I don't know. Just something like that. Like just someone who wears all black. You can decide his personality on your own. And I know the skulls are from, like, clubs, I think, but I don't know, I just thought they fit his aesthetic or vibe or whatever, his room decor even, just that. And so I was just kind of messing around with placement, trying to figure out where I wanted things, because I wanted that flag sized up, but I couldn't find a good spot for it. And then I was trying to decide if I wanted something for that wall, but I think I ended up and just left it blank. And so another side note, if you hear cars in the background or if you hear a weird sound, it's probably cars. I'm recording during rush hour in my town, which is like when everyone goes home from work, and I live downtown or close to downtown and on a busier street, so around this time that's all you hear. I try not to record during this time, but lately it's the only time I have. And so here I am trying to figure out the window or fit the curtains on the window the way I want them, but they wouldn't, so I had to first place the curtains and then go back and put the window where I wanted it so it wouldn't like snap together. But we figured it out. And so to finish this room, I just added a little ottoman under the window, like a place to sit, just a little sitting area in his room. And then I also added a black circle rug just to the floor of his room. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I just talk way too fast and my words get jumbled up, and that happens quite a lot, actually. And so here I just started working on the bathroom, and there were some wall stains and floor stains that I forgot to delete. So I just went back to do that really quick, and then changed the wall. And like I said, we're just kind of going with, like the rest of the house, the white, black, and gray aesthetic. And once again, like I said, it's a lower budget remodel, so instead of changing the hookup pipes for like water, we were keeping the appliances in the same spot that they were before. And now that I'm rewatching this video, I really don't like the bathroom, but like I said at the beginning of the video, the challenge is already passed, so I probably won't go back and change it. Maybe I will just for my own well-being, but probably not, or at least not in the near future. Because like the sink and the toilet are that black charcoal gray color, charcoal black, not really charcoal gray. And then the shower and the shelf thing are like a brown, muddy water, I don't know, a grayish, a different color than those. And I just feel like they all don't go together now that I'm rewatching it. And it makes me a little angry. And I really need to download that red tool mod or red tool shelf mod so that I can place stuff like on the top of these shelves or on the back of the toilet seat. Like having a little plant on the back of the toilet would just be so cute, and I think that is what would bring this bathroom together. But I don't have that mod, so I can't do that. And I also think that the mirror I put here is really ugly, and I should have not chose that one. And then lastly, to finish the room, I just picked a floor tile to match the appliances. I don't know, what do you call that? It's not furniture. I don't know, to match the kitchen sink, shower, and shelf, I guess, in the bathroom. And I was unsure of what to do with that last room, so instead I just went and moved on to the upstairs first and saved that room for last because I didn't know if I should make it into a bedroom. At first I wanted to, but then after I thought about it and remembered that the back door is there, I really didn't want to make it into a bedroom because I didn't like the thought of the back door being in someone's bedroom. But actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I used to live in this apartment with my friend, and it was a rectangle. Like, the front section was the living room, then the middle section was the kitchen and bathroom, and then the back section of the rectangle was 2 bedrooms. And, like, the left one was hers, and it was a little bit bigger, and then mine was the right one, but the back door was in there. Like, the back door was in my bedroom. So now that I think of it, I guess I could have made it a bedroom, but I also didn't want this to be like a big family home, so I probably wouldn't have made it one even if I had thought of that prior. And if you notice actually right here, I don't know why I made this room brown. I didn't even notice until now, but literally every room is black, white, and gray except the upstairs. And another thing that I don't like is how, like, in a real home, when you're going up the stairs, the wallpaper doesn't change. And so I should have maybe just picked a paint for the living room and used the same one upstairs so that the bottom wall, like right there, you can see it. So the bottom wall and the upper wall, upstairs wall, matched, like flowed together more nicely. And so something I don't like right here is how I was talking at the beginning, like the window placement. I don't like how the windows are not the same height. But I did put a bathtub there, and my thought was maybe that window is purposely lower, so because of the bathtub. And so to wrap things up in the bathroom, I was just adding a sink and a toilet. In this bathroom, I just kept like white furniture, appliances. Still don't know what you would call that. Um, and I just added a robe since like I figured the upstairs is the mom's. She's like, I don't know, I just see a mom more of a person to have a robe than a teenage son. And so to finish up for now, I just added some candles to the edge of the bathtub. Like I said, just kind of reminds me of something maybe a mom would have in her bathtub. In her bathroom. And so then moving on to the bedroom, first of all, we have to change the color of that window because somehow I missed it earlier. And then I figured even though she's a single mom, like maybe she'll get married, maybe she has guys over. I don't know the type of girl she is, but if her son has a full bed, she deserves a full bed. And she has the room for it, so like why not? And since she's a mom, I figured her bedroom would be more put together than the son's. Like maybe she would have an actual bedroom set, and so that's why I included two end tables. And the mirror, I don't know, I just thought like those types of decorations make it seem more adult like rather than like the teenage son who just had like the dresser and one nightstand and a bed that like didn't really match. Like I don't know, I just feel like this type of thing is more appropriate or fits a mom aesthetic more. And so then here I'm just putting two lamps on the table because like I said, I don't know, they just remind me of like a parent's bedroom. Like when I think of an adult bedroom, I think of like brown. And maybe that's why I went with brown too. I don't really know. And so moving on to the other side, it took me a while to figure out what dresser I wanted, like a long while. But I cut that out, and so I ended up just going with this one to add a little white, like break up some of the brown a little bit. And then I went with this mirror. I messed around with the placement a little bit, but I think I ended up and put it back, maybe. We'll see. Or I didn't put the dresser back, but yeah, I put the mirror back. And then, like I said earlier, when you don't know what to do or you don't know what to put in a corner, plant always works. And so then I just started looking for some wall art above the dresser. Sometimes I put a mirror above the dresser, but I figured since the mirror is right next to the dresser that a mirror above it would look kind of weird. Unless you did like a whole wall of mirrors, I see that in like homes in real life and on Sims, and I feel like that could look kind of cool, but I didn't think that was really gonna fit what I was going for here, I guess. So we just went with two pieces of art, but I put that divider there because, like I said, I wanted an open floor plan, but I wanted to break it up just a little bit too, and so I added just a little ottoman and a hamper under the mirror just for some more added, make it look more real, more homey, I guess. And then here, I just added a little easel and a chair and some plants that maybe she uses for inspiration. I thought that maybe like when she's downstairs or her son is stressing her out or work, whatever she does is stressing her out, that she uses her upstairs as like a bedroom but also as like a getaway to like just be by herself for a little bit. And maybe to her, like, painting is a relaxing activity. Like, she paints to get away, to calm her down. And so, like I said, just adding some plants for, like, some inspiration. Like, I don't know, like, I've seen artists, they'll have a chair or a stool with something on it. Like, that's what they're painting. Actually, on Sims, like, in the painting career, there's something like that you can unlock. And then to finish up the upstairs, I just added a couple more paintings. I kept them square so they like kind of match the other ones, but I made them or chose white ones to add a little color and bring the white furniture together, I guess, like the white door and the rest of the white stuff. And then last thing upstairs, I placed that painting in the bathroom. And then now we are on to the final room. And I think I had decided that I was just going to make it into like a den area. And if you noticed, at the front of the house, I placed a women's rack of shoes, and here I did a men's. And my thought behind that was maybe that the son for whatever reason, uses the back door more, and like the mom uses the front door more. And at first, I forgot that I had already changed the floor, but we changed it back. And then, since it is a den, I didn't really want the walls to be like too extravagant, so I just changed them to white, and I put a little rug there. And you'll see my first thought here was to use some of the stuff from Eco Lifestyle or Eco Living, whatever it's called. That maybe the son was like a builder or a maker, like a crafter. But then I just got kind of, well, first of all, I switched the door and the window. I just thought that the door placement fit better for what I wanted on the other side. So I hope you can do that. I don't really know. I don't think it said you can't in the challenge, or in the rules. I didn't think that was something that you can't do. But then after placing everything, I just realized like what I wanted that room to be, it couldn't. It was just way too much stuff and too big of stuff to put in there. So, and I don't know, I kind of wanted all of it or nothing. So then I just decided to kind of change it and turn it into like a laundry room area. And so then I put that bike there because I figured the teenage son rides a bike, and maybe they live in like not so great of an area where if he would leave the bike outside, it would get stolen. And so that's why he enters through the back, so that he can put his bike inside. Like he'll bring it around back and keep it inside. That way, anyone like walking down the street or driving down the street doesn't see his bike out in the open in the front of the house. And so here I'm just adding some more laundry stuff to make it seem like more of a laundry room. But it's also another black, white, and gray room. But it does have a brown rug, so maybe that ties the upstairs into this room. I don't know. And I placed that shelf just as like a storage shelf. And I know it kind of looks like it blocks the washer and dryer, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Like, I don't think it's in the way. I'm pretty sure your Sims can still use it. And since it is just like a little backdoor den laundry room, I really didn't add too many decorative features. But I did add that little stool like to sit while he's putting his shoes on. And now we are outside. And so to finish up the house, I just added a little chair and a bench to the backyard, looking out into the backyard. And this vase actually came, I don't know if it was the same color, I might have changed the color, but I think that vase was part of the original house that I downloaded. So I kind of thought it would be cool to put it in there like they kept something from the original house. And so now onto the exterior of the house. Like I said, we were trying to like pretend like it was a low budget remodel. So they just repainted the outside of the house, whatever you would call that. But I noticed, and maybe you did too if you just caught that, the roof on the back the roof on the back of the house, above like the back door. I think I forgot to change that. And so here I'm just redoing the steps, adding a new fence, and the foundation, I went and changed that because I thought the black fence and the black steps looked a little funny with like that gray brownish trim on the foundation. So then lastly, I went and added a black trim to the roofs, just to match the rest of it. And so fixing any walls I forgot, except I don't think I ever go back and fix this one. You can kind of see it right, the edge of it right here. And so, whoops, deleted that. But just adding a fence and black stairs back here to make it all match the front and the rest of the house. And lastly, after these steps, the last thing I had to delete and redo from this property is the front fencing, from like the front of the house, not the porch. And we ended up going with like a hedge fencing instead of like a traditional fence. We went with some hedges or bushes, whatever you would call them. So here I am just deleting the ones on this side and adding the hedge to that side. And even though I placed the house on a bigger lot, I decided just to keep the original shape. That way, if you want to download this house, or if I ever want to play with it, I can download it onto the appropriate lot size. And then so here, I didn't like the way that the hedge just like cuts off like that, so I just added some plants just to make it seem like the hedge stops like in this bush of flowers, and you know what I'm saying, I think. I don't know, I just think it looks better having some other plants here for the hedge fence to like run off into. And then we went and added a mailbox, and I'm now noticing that I forgot to add an outdoor trash can. So if you decide you want to play with this house, that is probably something you'll want to download, because if not, the indoor trash can will eventually overflow and your Sims won't like that. And then here I'm sizing up the trees, but I couldn't remember the original size, like how many times I had sized them down. So what I thought was the right size ended up being a size too big, yeah. Um, I thought these were the right ones until I sized that tree up 3 times, and I was like, that looks way too big. But so here I am just trying to figure out what I did wrong, and so I ended up and duplicated the trees to see the real size. But then after sizing them down, then I thought they looked too small, but they really don't. I just think, I don't know, there had been no trees around, so I kind of forgot how big or small they were. And so then I was thinking about landscaping, and I started placing these purple flowers. And my thought was that maybe when the mom and the son were remodeling or renovating the house, and when they started removing the weeds and the like plants, overgrown plants, that there were these like beautiful purple flowers under all of it. And the mom, being like the plant person that she is, and the painter, she just loved them, so she just kept them. And like then their yard just like overgrew with them, and so now their whole yard is just these purple plants all around the trees. And I know I could have put the fence all the way around, but I kind of just liked the idea of keeping it where the creator of this challenge, the creator of this build, had them already. And I also feel like it kind of depends where you place this lot, like what you want the fences to look like, or even if you even want fences, because some lots they might look better without fences depending on what is around them. And so here I am continuing to place the purple flowers that were pretending that were already there. And I kind of just placed them where the creator had the dirt paths, like where the weeds and stuff were before. Like, I kept the stone path around the house that was already there, even though it doesn't really lead to anywhere. I thought, kind of like how I said, the son brings his bike around back. Like, who knows where he comes from? Maybe that's what that path is for. And I was sizing up that tree that I forgot to, and then just adding to this little section the last few flower patches. And so even though I put that little sitting area on the back porch, I wanted just a little bit more in the backyard. So I separated the back flower patch, the back garden area, and I started out making it green like the grass, just to kind of imagine where I wanted the little courtyard or whatever you call it, little backyard to be. And at first I was trying to blend it in with the grass, but then I remembered that I placed it on a bigger lot, so I just tried to kind of blend it in with the back grass, but that still didn't look the best. So if you download it, if you place it on a smaller lot, it'll just disappear and it should be fine. And so here I just copied the terrain paint that was used for the little path, and I created just a little backyard area, but I didn't connect it because I thought, I don't know, just kept it separate. So like there was a backyard area and a patio area with maybe like a thin line of grass or like some weeds growing between the two. I don't know. I just liked the idea of keeping the path separated from the backyard. Not that it really even matters. I just personally thought it looked better that way. And so here, or actually I did add an outdoor trash can. It's not really the one I was thinking of, but your Sims can throw away their trash there. So if you want one out front, you can place one, but this one will do the job. And so I just added those 2 garden planters as another hobby or skill building activity for the mom, maybe, if she is a planter, like she likes plants. And so then I was just trying to think of something else to maybe add back here. And so I chose a fire pit, thinking of like an outdoor activity. Like that way they have stuff to do inside and outside. Maybe the mom and her friends, like on a Friday night, hang out here. Or maybe the son and his friends do. Or maybe they all do. Maybe they have family get-togethers back here. Who knows? But I just to add something to do outside so that it's not just visual, I guess. Like the plants, yeah, they are pretty, but the Sims can't really interact with those. That would be cool though if like the decorative plants and trees, like if the Sims could water, even if they didn't grow, like just to if Sims could grow their gardening skill off of like that type of stuff, that would be really neat. And I've only started using these purple bushes recently, so I feel like I use them any chance I get because one, I like the way they look, but two, they're bigger and I feel like they fill up parts of the property or the terrain very quickly. Like it's a nice way to quickly add a little bit of outdoor decoration. And I was also just looking at the name of these bushes. It's like, honestly, just look at it in your game and tell me how to pronounce it, or I'll learn for my next video, and you can look for that in my next video because I've never looked at it, and I honestly don't even know how I would try to pronounce that. So here I just, well, when you zoom out, you can't see the bushes, but just a last little overview of the outside and the inside. And so, as always, I just wanted to thank you guys for watching this video. I think my camera angle is definitely improved on this video. Maybe not here, but in the building, I tried to not move them every time I placed anything. So if you think they got better, let me know. If you think not, and I still need to work on them. I mean, I definitely need to work on them, but I think they're a little bit better. But again, thanks for watching, and thanks for this challenge, NYN Simmer.